Hello, I'm Rachel Joyce and I'm the author of Miss Benson's Beetle. Miss Benson's Beetle is about two women who are not at all well matched, who travelled to the other side of the world in 1950 in search of a golden beetle that may or may not exist. What does my writing routine look like? Do I have one? My writing routine doesn't really look like anything in particular because I really do it all the time. So the moment I wake up, I'm normally thinking about whatever it is I'm working on, and I go straight to it because in terms of hours, the mornings are the best time for me. I love writing as the light comes up. I find it a really inspiring, kind of clear time of day. Having said that, when I'm really immersed in writing something, it's never not there. So in terms of routine, it isn't even really a routine. It's more like wearing something. And I just feel that, that's how it goes. You have to stick with it. Other than writer, what's my dream job? What did I want to be when I was a child? When I was a child, I really wanted to be, and I wrote this in my diary at the time, either an actor or the headmistress of a very good school. I don't know where I got that from. Anyway, I did become an actor, so I did do that. But fortunately for mankind, I never became the headmistress of a school, good or otherwise. I don't know what I was thinking of. It must have been the idea of authority that really appealed to me. In real life, what's my kind of adventure? In real life, I'm quite fearful. So I see adventure where other people don't see adventure. And actually lockdown has made me even more fearful, to be honest. But I'd say my actual biggest adventures are probably the ones I go on in my imagination. And those are really big. So I feel very lucky that I have writing to contain that. Best thing about being a writer? Hardest thing about being a writer? The best thing about being a writer is definitely that this is the job I chose. I feel really lucky that I'm doing the thing I want to do when so many people aren't free in that way. So I feel every day I'm lucky. The hardest thing, though, is doubt. I think is the solitude and learning to accept that doubt is going to be sitting on your shoulder the whole time, and that is part of the process. And either you're just going to listen to it and be swallowed, or you're going to accept, yep, that's there, and I'm now going to carry on with what I'm doing. 3 books that have influenced me and why. I've been really thinking about these 3 books because I wanted to be really honest about them. So I'd say one is a book that I read as a child, which was called My Naughty Little Sister by, I think it's Dorothy L. Sayers, I think. But it's narrated by the older sister, and I am very much an older sister, about her younger sister who is just always going on adventures. I mean, always doing what she's not supposed to do. But as a child, I adored this book. I think partly because I really liked the slightly respectable older sister, but I also really loved the kind of anarchy of this younger sister. And so I decided when I was very young, along with kind of being, going to be a headmistress of an amazing school, I was also, if I was ever asked to read, I decided that when I was asked to read on Jackanory, which was the kind of children's program at that time where people read a story on TV. So I decided when I was asked to do that, I would be reading My Naughty Little Sister. That was my choice. So that was one book. Another book that has really influenced me, and I think is a life-changing book, is Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I knew before I started it that I was frightened of that book, and I think you can't read it, and you can't genuinely enter into the world of it without being changed. It's a devastating read, but I think it's a really, really important one. So that would be my second one. And then my third would be Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout, because it was in reading Elizabeth Strout and a lot of writers like her that I began to think about adventures not just being going out into the world, but that they could be inner, that you could find out a lot about a person by absorbing their past and the way they reacted in the present. So those feel to me 3 really important books to me. What's the best advice someone's ever given me about writing? It's so basic, but probably the best advice anybody's ever given me, and which I would give to anyone else, is you've got to keep going. You just have to keep writing it. And also that actually the story's in you, it's not in anybody else. So you can't give it to somebody else hoping that they'll tell you it's okay and it's done, or that they'll know the answers, because it's your voice. And I think that's the thing that the kind of the best advice I've had is to listen to my own voice.